Hi guys, and welcome to the Paris vlog from March 2023, where me and Lucinda went to Paris during the protests and riots, which made us a little bit nervous. But we were feeling cautiously optimistic as we had a pretty easy journey in. Got the old metro, little short video of the Eiffel Tower there because a guy fell into Lucinda while also trying to take a picture and hurt her leg. But yeah, we headed off towards the hotel, which was very lovely. Went and checked in there, checked our bags in, but we couldn't check in until later, and we had tickets to the PSG game, spoiler alert. So yeah, we checked our bags in and then headed off for a wander around the streets of Paris. So as we see me very graciously stumble down the stairs here, the first thing we wanted to go check out was the Eiffel Tower. Because I'd never seen it before and was very actually blown away by how big it really was. We walked under it and then went for a lunch in that lovely restaurant you just saw there, before going and taking some more scenic shots of the Eiffel Tower before ending up on what I can only describe as the Inception Bridge. If you know, there was scene shot here for the film Inception and I was geeking out an insane amount. While Lou kind of tolerated me, so very lovely of her. And then Lou got her posing model side out and threw some limbs around under the bridge before we headed off on our trip to the PSG game. We went past this lovely flower stand on the walk. It was about a 45-minute walk, so it took a fair distance to get there, until we arrived at the stadium. So we arrived at the stadium about an hour and a half early, as you can see from all the empty seats, and eagerly awaited the lineup to be announced, as I'm going to be honest, the only reason I was really there was to see Messi play, as I'd never seen him. And we were super excited that he was playing, and we got to be a part of this really cool mural, which I'd never been a part of before, and it was really cool to be under it. We still don't know what it looked like, but yeah, I'm going to let the next bit play with sound, as we were sat right above the Paris Ultras. And the atmosphere was incredible. So unfortunately, PSG actually lost the game 2-0, which was a bit of a bummer, but the atmosphere was incredible the whole time, and we were actually both really buzzing heading back to the hotel room for the first time, which you can see here. We were both super happy with it, and headed pretty much straight to bed, as our flight was really early, so we'd been awake for about 20-21 hours at this point. So first thing first, on the first full day was to head to the local patisserie for some pain au chocolats, and made a tea and coffee in the room, before we headed out on our next adventure for the day. So the first stop was the Trocadero, absolutely butchered that pronunciation I'm sure, which gave a really incredible view of the Eiffel Tower, and there was literally hundreds of people taking photos. Stopped at a nice little cafe for a quick drink before heading off to the Arc de Triomphe, where we sat and ate some lovely baguettes and watched about, I don't even know how many near misses. It was actually terrifying to sit at that roundabout and watch the cars go round. It was absolute bedlam. So yeah, we had our baguettes and took some nice photos before heading back on ourselves and turning our attentions to the Champs-Élysées. As we headed down looking through the shops, the only purchase we really made was at the PSG shop, as I couldn't get anything from the store at the game, so I ended up getting a nice little PSG scarf to remember seeing Messi. And then we stopped and got a crepe before heading off to get some nice healthy juices, as I had a little bit of a cold shock. Before we headed off for our dinner reservation, which Lou very kindly made for us at the top of this building in the middle of Paris. The restaurant was called Peruche, and the service was honestly incredible. The views were also really amazing, and we had just a really great night there, until the couple next to us, who turned up later, told us that there had been rubbish being set on fire in the streets, which was the first sign of any protests we'd seen. So we stood up on the balcony after finishing dinner, taking in the sights of the plumes of smoke on one side, and then the Eiffel Tower on the other side. So yeah, a bit of a tale of two halves, really.
Fire ever. Paris is on fire. Dan Cheney's here to report. First man on the scene. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
So as you can see from those videos, luckily we'd missed the main bit of the carnage, but we were seeing lots of fire engines and ambulances going left, right and centre on our walk back. So we were kind of dipping and diving through streets, but never really saw anything too interesting. And it was so calm that we even managed to stop for a quick video, as the Eiffel Tower went all sparkly on the hour every hour in the evening. So we waited for the prime moment to get a nice shot of Lucinda stood in front of the Eiffel Tower as it went sparkly. Now on to day 3, which was Disneyland. We got there nice and early and headed straight for the Avengers campus, which was new to both of us, as we both hadn't been since we were kids. I actually used to be afraid of roller coasters, so this Avengers ride was my first roller coaster in about 20 years and absolutely terrified me because it went about 60 miles an hour in the pitch black, so that was just great. Didn't really do much else around the Avengers campus because it was getting pretty busy already, and as we only had one day, we headed over straight towards the main park. One of my favourite memories from coming to Disneyland as a kid who didn't like roller coasters was the Star Tours ride, which is basically a simulator where you go to different Star Wars planets. So as I'm still a massive Star Wars fan now, that was one of the first attractions that we decided to go on, and we both absolutely loved it. It was really cool, really immersive, and I think they'd added some new stuff since the last time I've been there. And after that, we headed off to get some lunch. We just got some simple little toasties because we didn't really have any bookings and wanted to get some food down us relatively quickly so we could enjoy the rest of the park. Saw the parade go by and then headed down under the main castle to see the dragon, which I don't remember ever seeing before, but that was really impressive. And there was a kid walking in telling himself that he was going to be brave and that he wasn't scared. So I made sure to tell him that I was indeed scared to make him feel better, because it was actually pretty creepy down there. But after that, we headed off towards the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Again, another one we had both been on, I think, when we were younger, so it was quite funny to see it now, obviously being much taller and much bigger and much older.
Oh, ahoy there.
Sortez, mes amis. Tout le monde aura sa part du trésor. En guise de défraiement personnel.
So after that, we went on a few more rides, including the Indiana Jones ride and the Buzz Lightyear ride, before a final trip on the Star Tours before we headed home, which was totally worth it because we got to go to Coruscant, which we hadn't been on the first time, so definitely worth it. And that was pretty much the end of that day. We were pretty tired, so we just headed back and on to the next day. So for this day, to kick things off, Lou had booked us into a really nice restaurant called Pink Mama, which you can see here. I think she found it through TikTok, which it seemed like a lot of the people there had found it that way because it was a very influencery crowd. But it was actually a really cool building, and I think we lucked out by getting on the top floor. So as you can see, the decor in here was really swanky. We had some lovely meals before heading up towards the Sacré-Cœur, which had some amazing views of the city. Another really popular spot. which we walked the whole way up to get to, which was probably a bit of a mistake as we were both really tired after that. So we pretty much just headed back for another rest after that, via a quick stop to see the Louvre. The next day we had planned on headed to Versailles, but I will play you the clip of our reaction when we got there.
So Lucinda, we've just caught the train. We've just travelled for an hour to get to Versailles to go see the grounds and the palace. 3 minutes ago, what did they decide is closed?
The whole thing.
The whole thing. That's good, that, isn't it?
Closed.
That's really,
Yep. Really good.
really enjoyable. Thanks, guys. Well, this place is lovely, so I guess we just go do something else.
So after that absolutely spiffing start to the day, we thought we might as well walk up there anyway, see what we can see. Basically had a nice view of the car park, but could see the big palace up there anyway. And then sort of had a bit of an aimless wander around, to be honest, for around 10-15 minutes before jumping back on the train. When we got back, we decided to have a wander up to a cafe that Lucinda had been talking about all week, another TikTok find, where she'd been eyeing up the iconic hot chocolate there, which you actually use to dunk your croissant into, and I think she really enjoyed that, and to be honest, I did as well, because needless to say, I tried some also. Now, as Versailles had gone awry, we were on the hunt for other things to do, and we'd actually seen this Stranger Things experience advertised on the metro, so we thought, why not head over and check that out? And it was actually super cool. It was a 45-minute interactive experience, which unfortunately was all in French. I mean, shouldn't really be surprised it's in Paris, but we didn't really know what was going on. And then at the end of it, you pop out into this incredible sort of space with loads of different shops and activities to take part in. Lots of good photo opportunities as well, free arcade machines to use and all sorts. So yeah, we just kind of spent probably about an hour and a half wandering around here, just having a great time, looking at all the different memorabilia from when the show was filmed, and yeah, just having a great time really. And I'll share with you my review from when we came out in just a second.
Just coming out of the Stranger Things experience. We went a bit crazy in the shop, got lost in the sauce, spent like over €100, but we moved. Bought like 2 cocktails, they were £15 each, and they were really nice, but probably not, you know, €30 nice. But it was really good, and even though like everyone was speaking in French and we didn't really know 100% what was going on, it was still really cool. So yeah, would recommend.
So finally, to end a day of unexpected activities, we popped out the metro station into the middle of a protest. Both our noses and eyes started feeling really weird, so I think there'd been tear gas in the street recently, which wasn't amazing. And there were fires and loads of police around, so yeah, kind of the worst we'd seen it, but I think we both felt relatively okay. Nothing, you know, too scary. We just kind of headed for home and kept our heads down, and it was all okay really. So yeah, we headed for home, got back to the hotel, got some drinks and just chilled out for the rest of the evening after a very busy day. So on to the Friday now. We were booked in for lunch at a restaurant actually on the first floor of the Eiffel Tower. You go and collect your tickets from underneath, and then that gets you a fast pass onto the elevator up to the top. We got quite lucky with a window seat on the inside section of the Eiffel Tower. So we got a lovely view looking out as we ate our dinner. Really enjoyable experience, lovely food, very lovely wine as well, as you will see from the clip of Lucinda, which I'll play in a second.
Lucinda got very tipsy after our lunch up the Eiffel Tower. We shared a bottle of wine. And this is the result.
Stop it.
Thank you. Do all the different poses.
I'm done.
So we took the stairs back down the Eiffel Tower very graciously, and in the evening we headed out on a boat tour for an hour, which went from the Eiffel Tower to the Notre Dame.
What is that, Daniel?
Le Notre Dame. Was that good pronunciation?
So as you can tell from that video, it was pretty chilly on the roof of the boat, which is where we sat for the entire first half of the journey. And on the way back, we decided to sit mostly on the inside in the warm. This is now on to the final day, so travel home day. We decided to have a little explore around the hotel, which we hadn't actually done that much of yet, and saw some nice gardens and some nice old buildings, before going and getting our stuff from the hotel and heading out back towards the airport. So unfortunately, after getting to the airport, we found out that the flight had been delayed for an hour. So I got some wine down me, as you can tell from those absolutely atrocious moves. And yeah, we ended up getting the flight back only an hour later, so it wasn't too bad, and only a 40-minute flight back. So yeah, overall a really, really memorable and lovely experience. And yeah, really special to share that with Lou as well. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again.